How are you lovely people doing today? My name is John. Welcome to the triumphant return of the zombie storyline Q&A. This is one of the few series on YouTube where I take your questions about the zombie storyline and answer them. Anything from a big to a small to a simple question, I'm more than happy to take on. Now there are two ways you can submit your questions. You can either tweet me at JohnnyJ25 and maybe follow me while you're at it, hint hint, or you can leave them down in the comments below. Either way, you may be on the next episode. Now, I haven't been doing them lately, but don't worry, the zombie storyline Q&A will be coming back in full force once Black Ops 3 comes out. I'm talking 2 episodes a week like we normally do, so if this series interests you and you'd like to stay tuned for more, be sure to subscribe. Without further ado, let's begin. So today's question comes from @MattIce_, who asks, I would ask to cover Cthulhu, but I know that would take long. I want to talk about Cthulhu because there's something I want to bring up. So, I've been talking about for years now, Samantha mentioning that there is something far more powerful that we have yet to comprehend. Take a listen.
The blackness will swallow your pride! Something far more terrible than you lies here!
Samantha had said that to Dr. Richtofen when he had just taken control of the pyramid and they had switched bodies. Samantha had been in the pyramid far longer than Richtofen. She had time to really understand what was going on here. Dr. Richtofen is fairly new to this. He doesn't realize that he's not the only sort of all-powerful entity. He's subservient to someone. Who could that someone be though? Cthulhu. Now, if you don't know, Cthulhu is this cosmic entity created by the writer HP Lovecraft, and it was first introduced in his short story, The Call of Cthulhu, first published in 1928. Cthulhu is one of the great old ones, which are these cosmic alien beings, or sort of monsters, that are incredibly powerful, but they don't exist in our realm. They exist in this world called Ryla, and I probably mispronounced that. However, he can come to Earth when the stars align perfectly. Now, Cthulhu, being the highest priest of the Great Ones, is sort of like the all-powerful god. He is the most powerful among them, and what it could be in the zombies realm, because we know Cthulhu does exist in the zombies world. We've seen this in Black Ops 3 leaks. I'm not going to talk about where they came from. I'm not going to talk about how we summon him, because 1, I'm not sure. 2, I want to be very careful with my leaks. And 3, I don't want to spread around misinformation. We just know he's there. And if he is the one that Samantha refers to as far more powerful, it makes sense. Cthulhu sort of exists in this dormant sleep state within Ryla, so maybe, while he is all-powerful, he sort of has limited abilities. He can't quite reach the world that Samantha and Dr. Maxis are sort of squabbling over. However, they are in a way subservient to him. But that's why she talks about something far more terrible lurking in there. But maybe he does have an ability to affect the world, and he does this through the Shadow Man, his henchman. Quite possibly, the Shadow Man is his way of punishing those he deems as terrible people. So he did this to the Mob of the Dead crew, this time taking on the form of the demonic announcer. He then did it in Shadows of Evil, taking on the form of the Shadow Man. It could be that because the stars aren't aligned properly, Cthulhu sort of lays dormant. He uses the Shadow Man to torture people, but if he was able to, he could take over Dr. Maxis or Samantha and then do whatever the heck he wants. This is how Cthulhu could fit into the storyline. Now, of course, we're going to have to wait and see. There is a lot to learn about Shadows of Evil, and we're going to be learning a lot more as the game goes on, so this information could end up being wrong. For now, though, this is our best bet as to how Cthulhu fits into the zombie storyline. Now, moving on from that, we have a question from AXIO_shots, who asks, if the gumball machine is from Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil, how is it in the Giants? So the gumball machine was not in Mob of the Dead, but the reason it's in both Shadows of Evil and Giant is 2 reasons. There's the gameplay reason, which simply states that because the gumball machine is directly related to the ranking system, it has to be in all the maps. Otherwise, the ranking system is kind of pointless and only affects one map, that being Shadows of Evil. The storyline perspective of it is that it exists in both the Giant and Shadows of Evil through element 115 displacement. It exists in both universes, and while it might not belong to a specific universe, of course we don't know who Dr. Monty is, we don't know who first created it, we don't know its home, we just know that it belongs somewhere and it is displaced in either Shadows of Evil or the Giant. I'd imagine it doesn't belong in the Giant though, and it was just displaced there. That's my theory though. We're gonna end today's episode with a question from Damon Taylor, who asks, do you think Maxis or Samantha will play a role in the new Zombies? So I think Dr. Maxis and Samantha will play a role in Zombies. Remember that right after Richtofen teleports them, they are sent to the moon. Samantha is taken not far from the pyramid, and Maxis is sent to a cave. Richtofen orders the assassination of Dr. Maxis. However, Richtofen is dead. There's no one there to make that call. What could very well happen is that after the giant, our characters then go to the moon. And from the moon, they find Dr. Maxis wherever he is in his cave, and then go free Samantha from the pyramid. That could very well end up being the Easter egg of the map, because once you take out Maxis and do whatever you need to do in the giant, that just seems like the next logical step in the progression. Anyway, that's gonna wrap things up for this episode of the Zombie Storyline Q&A. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like or subscribe, and maybe stay tuned for future episodes. If you enjoyed this one, I'm sure you'll love the next one. I'm gonna go, have a great day, and bye.